blessings fall like the rain. The streams of your compassion freely flow from your throne.
Right? Now check it out. Read.
As befell me also in my youth. And now my children love the truth, and it will preserve you. Hear ye the words of Reuben your father. Pay no heed to the face of a woman.
Read that again.
Pay no heed to the face of a woman.
Pay no heed to the face of a woman. What is this telling you? You can appreciate a woman's beauty, but you have to weigh it all, because you're weighing what you're seeing against the mission the Most High has in you. Right? Because there's many out there who are seeking, like the serpent was from the beginning, turn into a Madonna to do what? To take the power from man. Well, she cannot physically do so. So she must use what she got. She got to get what she wants. Listen to what it's showing you here, right? Pay no heed to the face of a woman. Read.
Nor associate with another man's wife.
Read. When it says associate, it means just that. Read.
Nor meddle with affairs of womankind.
Do not go into women conversation and women spaces like these so-called guys from the letter people that have these rumor mills. Oh, girl, and what's going on? Is you and Mickey working out? Men ain't supposed to be up in some woman's conversation with rumor.
Come on, man. Look at this young Negro right here, man, over here looking like a 14-year-old girl, man. Stop it, man. That's a shame, man. And then you got two girls with them hyping them up. That's the problem with our women right there. They talk about they want a good man, but they hype up niggas being homosexuality, man. That don't make any damn sense. Bring your little ass across the track. I know. We calling out now. That's right. Because the Most High God is not, that is not acceptable to the Most High God what y'all doing over there, man. That's right. That's your partner. That's your getting beings, right? Get the hell out of here with that. The Most High God said that's an abomination. We're going to look out. No, you ain't got to forgive me. Look out. Here goes some more homosexuals, man. This is a problem, man. Yeah, come on over here, bro. I want to ask y'all some serious questions too, man. Let me ask you a serious question. Hey, brother, you a boy, right? Eyes up. So, what does the Bible tell you that you need to do?
It says, people say it's an abomination, but he also said come as you are.
No, you won't find that in the Bible. Oh, boy, tell me where I can find that.
I preach every day that the Bible is a man-made organism, right?
But where does it tell you that you can come where you are? It doesn't. It doesn't.
But y'all contradicting yourselves.
We're not contradicting ourselves. The Bible said that we have to be men. How you go? Do you have children? How you gonna have children? The Bible said that your seed is the only way that a woman can have children.
Do you masturbate?
Huh?
Do you masturbate?
Bro, no, we can't masturbate no more, man. That's sin. That's lasciviousness.
About you.
That's lasciviousness, brother.
But the point is,
I mean, that's a sexual strong desire that we got to get up off of us.
When you talk
that's sin.
When you talk, I talk.
Right. Men ain't supposed to be dealing with tea and all this other stuff that you talking about.
Here's talking about, let me drop the tea, girl. Dude, what are you doing dropping tea with women?
Right.
Okay? You just need to be getting on with building something. Men stuff.
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you why, though. Because this is how these particular men gain power to attack the men that they cannot overthrow otherwise in fear. So this is their connection with the women, because now they can now influence the woman to do what they cannot do, take down a man. These are men who are threatened by real men. So this is why they connect with women. It's not that they are jealous of women and want to be like a woman. Nah, it's a conduit. Through a woman, they can get to that man and do something because they fear the strength of man, and now use the strength of that woman for herself, like Satan tried to do in the beginning, and or get access to her children. This is Reuben's message. Stay out of women's spaces, okay? Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to be in the conversation where women are talking anyway. It's going to frustrate you. Women can talk in code and know exactly what they're saying, as if they're using telepathy, and you're trying to logically make it out and trying to correct things, and they're just talking in feelings. That's no place for a man. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're going to offend someone trying to put it together. No, y'all go ahead. I'm not even in it. Right? Dude, stay out of women's spaces, men. Right? Don't try to make sense of it. They know what they're talking about. You just got to make sure somebody not in the circle, seeking to topple your home. That's when you air hustle and get somebody out of here. But outside of that, when trusted women are talking, hey, allow them to have their space. Right? Come on, let's go.
Verse 11. For had I not seen Bilhah bathing in a covered place, I had not fallen into this great iniquity. For my mind taking in the thought of the woman's nakedness suffered me not to sleep until I had wrought the abominable thing.
So the whole thing is how Reuben got caught up. One day he was drunk and he was walking around while his father was asleep, and noticed his father's wife, who was once his handmaid or servant or concubine. He noticed she was bathing. And from that day, Reuben could not get the sight of her beauty and how her body looked out of his mind. So he says, I had not fallen into great iniquity, read. For my mind
fallen into great iniquity. For my mind taking in the thought of the woman's nakedness suffered me. So he took in the view. He could not get that view out of his mind after seeing her bathing. He couldn't even sleep until I what? Until I had wrought the abominable thing.
Until I end up violating my father by dealing with his wife. This is why Reuben lost the inheritance of the firstborn. Now, this is something that men don't know, right? Let's go down where it tell you that the spirit of relations are more so on women than men. They flipped it and made us believe that it's the man that's always thinking of relations. That's not so. That's a lie from the pits of hell. That's deceit. It's really the reverse. It's really the reverse. Okay? And the reason why it's the reverse is because women go through things with their body at a time of ovulation and all that, where the desires come on more so strictly through biology. The need to bring forth children. So that's another lie that's out there, that men think about relations more than women. It's in the scriptures. It's the other way around. I'm sorry, sisters out there. I'm just letting it out because most women, from the optics, are more so the pure ones. Okay, from the optics. And no woman want to be seen as thinking of that, and that's understood so. But the way it is, women have more desire towards relation than men. I'm going to show you. Let's read it.
Chapter 5, verse 1.
Let me get down there. 5 verse 1. Reuben is going to say it. Now it's talking about why. Now listen to this. I don't want no one to think that Reuben is calling all women evil. What Reuben is dealing with is the fact that the woman took hold of the fruit first. And because of that, her desires are manifold when it comes to emotion compared to the man. When it comes to feelings, when it comes to everything. Right? So I don't want you to get twisted when Reuben states this. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. Chapter 5, verse 1. For evil are women, my children, and since they have no power or strength over man.
Since they have no power or strength over a man. Read.
They use wiles by outward attractions.
Since they cannot knock you over the head through brute force and bring you home, they use outward attractions. They use sexual attraction. See? So they have what? They have a bullet point. They have a list of what they did growing up to attract a man. And they use these things. Oh, this doesn't work. Maybe this will work. This don't work. Maybe that will work. And this is why we have an overt showing of women over-sexualizing themselves, because they're trying everything and nothing is no longer working. Not like it used to be. Because a lot of men have wised up that the system have put something in place that if what? That if a man deal with a woman, it comes with serious consequences based on the laws the feminists, along with the government, put in place against men. And it wasn't until our current time men started waking up to it. So now men are dealing with scenarios logically. Right? Who wants to get arrested? Right? Who wants to be cuffed to a situation that eventually that will lead to what? Your name becoming mud. Who want to work all your life for something at the end of it where someone can make an accusation with the government and lawyers who are against you anyway to take everything you've worked for? Right? So men have began to wise up. So Reuben says, what? That because they can't take you, because they can't physically take a man they want. If they could, they would. They must use what?
They use wiles by outward attraction.
By outward attraction. So they do everything to dress up to lure a man in to say hello. That's what they use. There's nothing wrong. People love beautiful women. They love attractive women. Okay. But then let me tell you, it becomes so saturated. Right? Where there's no uniqueness anymore, to where men aren't approaching. Right? So you do all this stuff and you do all the stuff you used to do and it's nothing, right? Because men have begun to see how Satan have stacked the deck of society against man to take dominion. Now, this is not talking about all women, not the women of Sarah. It's talking about women who just use their physical appearance to get what they want. Read.
That they may draw him to themselves.
Read.
Verse 2. In whom they cannot bewitch by outward attractions, him they overcome by craft.
And those that they can't use their outward appearance they get their hair together and their body together, and men still aren't approaching, they turn to what? Witchcraft. They turn to witchcraft. Yeah. I need to manifest my man. Manifest. When they can't get a man one way, they turn to astrology. They turn to what you would call African spiritualism. They become Buddhists. They go join a yoga class. Where they can over-sexualize themselves under the guise of just wearing exercise pants, and at the same time making poses to the gods you hope can guide you to a mate. Read.
Verse 3, for moreover concerning them, the angel of the Lord told me that women are overcome.
Hold up, Elder Lawyer. We're going to slow walk this. Because Reuben was fasting and wanted to know why he couldn't overcome that scenario with Bilhah. So he said, the angel of the Lord told me. So an angel had to tell him the nature that came through that sin of Adam and Eve, that insatiable nature that overtakes a man. So the angel came to Reuben and taught him what?
That women are overcome by the spirit of fornication.
Read it again.
That women are overcome by the spirit of fornication more than men.
That women are overcome by the spirit of fornication more than men. Women enjoy relations more than men. Okay. Now, of course, from the outside, they're the more innocent when it comes to the outside view of it, and that's fine. But there's a reason why there's so many people on this earth. Okay. Let's just speak honest here. And they flipped it and made everyone believe that it was the man he's the incel. He's always after something. He's doing this and doing that. No, women have thoughts too. So it says, be careful. Because why? In a capitalistic society, listen to me clearly, fellas. In a capitalistic society, it has now become blood sport. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying. In a capitalistic society, when it comes to men who are earning, you would have women in the world who will do anything to get to a man, even if it means stepping on another woman to get to him for the sake of self-preservation. That's where we are. And this is why we're in a society that has become this catty when it comes to the dispute, even amongst women. With resources drying up. Right? So the only way a woman, a daughter of Zion, can actually overjump all that and get a man after the man's heart is to become contrary to the norm. She must become contrary to the witchery, the outward appearance. Now, modesty will set a woman apart from the rest to let that man know, not all the time, but the majority of the time, that at least I can give this a shot based on her being entirely different than the rest. Now, hey, is that a guarantee? Well, no. But every woman is making themselves so much the same. It's a woman who does the contrary that stands out now, not the one with all of the outward appearance
and
anymore.
Next up, we have Miriam
Men
Day. Welcome.
aren't approaching those women to get a wife.
Let's go figure out why the guys pop their balloons.
They're just
Why
not.
did you pop your balloon today?
Just took 3 steps, and I don't like people that.
Now, the woman have to look at this and say, well, okay, everything is true.
thank
Well,
you.
how can I gain something
why did
in
you
this
just pop your
situation?
balloon?
Understanding that women have given me a bad image. They done saturated the market with lashes and this, that, and the other.
Well, let's go see what else we have. Why did you pop your balloon today?
Well, when I was looking at the balloon, it sort of looked just like you, just expanding big. I don't want that in my life. I'm sorry. Just be big.
Thank you. Let's go see what else we have.
You really think you can say that? That's good.
Why did you pop your balloon today?
She got eyes, and she can see other people. Dudes, I can't have that.
Okay. Well, there's still hope.
What are men looking for then? Great question. Something different. Okay. Something that the Most High intended from the beginning. Modesty, humility. Check this out, women. Vulnerability. A man must feel useful. And if you're not vulnerable, there is no damsel in distress.
Why can't we be equal? Why do you feel superior to me?
Let me ask you this. Do you want a man that's taller than you?
Yeah.
Would you prefer a man that's stronger than you physically?
Yes, I do.
Would you prefer a man that can lead you?
Absolutely.
Would you prefer a man that's more competent and more intelligent than yourself?
I just said that. I
Yeah?
can't
Doesn't sound
disagree.
anything equal there to me.
Ouch. But what if I am strong?
You're not. That means that we are not equal.
Yeah, we're not. We're not. But don't.
said
Oh,
a second ago
God.
that
Okay, all right.
Got him.
Got me.
Glitch in what way?
In the sense that women don't feel like they need men in the most physical sense, perhaps
that's
like
right.
naturally.
It's very interesting. Women don't feel like they need men in a physical sense because life is soft, but it's bull. Because you still need men by proxy, 1, and 2. The second life gets difficult, you very quickly learn how much you need men. But women will go, I'm independent, I don't need no man because I have an OnlyFans and men pay my OnlyFans, and if anyone comes up to me, I'll call a male police officer. I don't need men. Shut up, dude. Of course you do. You just named your whole life is based on men. The road you're driving on was paved by a man. The house you're living in was built by a man. The car you're driving was designed by a man. Your whole life depends on men. And the second anything bad were to happen to you, the second you were physically threatened, or times were to get hard, or war were to start, or famine, or riots, the first thing you do is find a big strong man, shit yourself, and throw the feminism out the window. Feminism goes out the window the second that the snow needs shoveling, or the broken down car, or the tire needs changing. Then all that crap vanishes. It's garbage. And this is the very interesting thing. I'll make a point here, which is going to get me canceled again, but I don't give a... but this is the point. Feminism in and of itself can't be defended. The point of an idea is that it can be defended by the people who believe in it. This has been the whole point of war since the dawn of time. It doesn't matter if it was the Christians against the Hindus, it doesn't matter if it was the Germans against the French. There were people who had ideas and ideologies, and they were prepared to fight each other to defend their ideology. Feminism is an ideology which cannot be defended by feminists. The only people who can defend feminism are the men who subscribe to the garbage. If all the feminists were to get in a line and say, we want feminism, and the conservative men were to get in a line, you would learn very quickly it's bullshit.
If they want to come and kill me, there's not much that many people can do.
Let's make an important point. You're talking about equality equaling respect. The way you get respect as a woman is by being feminine. There's nothing, we can be equal and very, very different. I'm not saying that there's not equality, but you've confused equality with the same. You can be equal with completely different things. You can have a bishop and a knight on a chessboard. They're equal in terms of points, but they do different things, right? A woman can have equal respect to a man if she is very good at being a woman, and a man gets respect for being very good at being a man. When a woman decides she wants to act like a man, or a man wants to act like a woman, that's where all gets. up. We try and pretend it's all the same. It's not the same. Men and women are good at different things. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. There's nothing wrong with accepting that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm a woman, I'm good at X, he's a man, he's good at Y. Then we work together as a team, we have a beautiful family, we're happy forever. It's only confused where you have women who sit and go, no, because in the name of equality, we can fight in war. There's no women on the front line in Ukraine. That is psyop bullshit. They put some chick there dancing around doing Pokemon dances to try and convince men to go die in a ditch. It's garbage. If you go to the front line of Ukraine right now, you do not see women in their makeup and their manicures. You see men in the freezing cold dying. You know where the women are? Dubai, chilling. That's where the women are. So to sit and pretend that women are just as capable physically as men is it's delusion. To say that you're as strong as men is delusion. You are good at other things. You're better than men at a lot of things, but it's not the physical world. And the unfortunate reality about life, this is what we're saying when I was saying earlier that feminism goes out the window when things get hard. The harder the world gets, the closer it gets to the baseline of humanity. The unfortunate baseline of humanity is violence. Yeah. That's what happens. If all the electricity were to go out and all the police were to quit, this would become a violent place very quickly, and there would be zero feminists left.
You have to swallow your pride and say, listen, I need Adam. Let's get back to this, Elder Lawyer, before we open up the calls, 'cause I'm sure they're going to want to talk tonight. All right? It says right here, right, that the woman is overcome by the thoughts of relations more than men. And in their heart, Elder Lawyer, let's read. And
in their heart, they plot against men.
And in their heart, they plot against men. So women are intentional when it comes to seeking someone they're attracted to. They'll put themselves in position to be found while pretending the whole time, I just happen to be here. They're more intentional. Read.
And in their heart they plot against men, and by means of their adornment they deceive first their minds.
So with their endurement, what they have on is to capture a man's mind. Okay? Right now he's focused on her and no other woman in there based on the outward appearance. Okay? That's the first win for her, right? Read.
And by the glance of the eye instill the poison.
And by the glance of the eye she instill that poison. Okay, it's that eye connection. And guess what? When it says instill the poison, it's what? It makes it where there's a vulnerability in that man. Because many of these things I'm talking about has happened between a man and woman, and the relationship worked out fine. Marriage, children, all of that. Well, he talks about the first time he's seen her and all that. So this is not saying that this is an evil thing in of itself. It's saying that a man have to understand. You have to understand the difference. Right? And how does a man set the table straight? He set the table straight by actually conveying to her not only his intentions, but what his purpose is on earth with God, and whether or not she's willing to follow that. Right? So he's letting her know right now. Yeah, the attraction is there and all that, going out, courting, whatever the case is, but it got to be rolled out. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate Easter. I don't go to Sunday worship. That's worshiping the Madonna. I don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. I follow the commandments, and I'm seeking a helpmeet that's going to get on board with my program. Okay? You're on my program, not the other way around. Right? Let's read that last piece of the lawyer.
Yes, sir. It says, and by the means of their adornment, they deceived first the minds, and by the glance of the eye, instill the poison.
And by the glance of the eye, instill the poison. Like I told you, brothers and sisters, a lot of it isn't working anymore, right? Why? Because a woman's power was once her outward appearance. But the more and more she adorned herself, the more it desensitized the man concerning what's really attractive. So then, if it isn't working with what I was born with, what we see out here is these crazy BBLs and all these others, okay, let me put that on. Let me put my behind on top of a behind and see, it's not working. Then the eyelids. It says through the eyelids. Let me put on eyelashes that hit the door 10 seconds before I do. Surely he'll see my eyes. It isn't working. Something is different with men. To the point where now women are compounding what used to attract men. I thought it was my derriere. I got more and still nothing is happening. I thought it was my eyelashes and my face. You gotta see my face with these lashes. And men are looking at it and saying, this is insane. It has gone too far. It has gone. That's what men are saying in response to why relationships aren't happening anymore. Men aren't saying anything. What they're telling you by their absence. Okay? Not just their absence. They don't have a propensity to pursue. What men are saying now in particular, and I talk to my sons and all these others, men are saying it has gone too far in the worship of the Madonna. You've made yourself into an idol. Men no longer feel a need to serve.
You know what gets way too much attention in our world? Height. What really matters is our brains, our personality, and most of all, our hair. Being tall, that's overrated. In fact, now you can create your own mini-me. And there's a good possibility that soon you could be saying, honey, I shrunk the kids, and the dog, and myself. Here's Allie Ward to explain.
Look into their faces. People, pets, pastimes preserved forever. These are miniature replicas of people like you and your neighbors. And these diminutive doubles are called dupes. The forward-thinking company that makes them, called Dube, got its start in Germany. And these unique replicas are the combined result of sophisticated technology, photogrammetry, and 3D printing. Photogrammetry is a scanning process whereby two-dimensional photographic images taken from multiple angles are converted into a single three-dimensional model.
So now it comes around where, what? It's time to break down. The Most High does this to men too. Men try to do it one way and it's not working. It's the Most High breaking them down and saying, listen, you have to come contrite. Right? You look at the prophets, look at them of old. He says what? Rent your clothes and put ashes on your head. Humble yourself. Be contrite and humble yourself before the God who made you. I want to see you humble before the throne before I reward you with anything. And he does this to men and he does this to women. You have to start from the beginning. You have to become contrite. You have to humble yourself before the throne and say, listen, if I'm good enough for the Most High and accept who I am, how the Most High made me, I know that he's going to send that man who'll appreciate me just the way I am. And do not, sisters, do not deal with the peer pressure of the other women who have separated themselves from the throne. You are not supposed to envy the wicked. And so what they'll do is other women will shame you into putting on and doing what they're doing. Understand this. So to make it where men will only have the choices and outcomes based on the saturation. This is how she get on par with you equally. So she'll shame you so that if a man run into you, he won't know the difference and it'll give her an equal shot. No. Don't let women shame you. Hey, what's your hair? Look at your edges. You need to do something. Don't let them do anything like that. Like, nah, I'm doing something different. There's men out here who like regular old edges the way Thelma had on Good Times. Okay? Right? Let's read that last piece.
Yes, sir. And by the glance of the eye instill the poison, and then through the accomplished act, they take them captive.
Read.
For a woman cannot force a man openly.
For a woman cannot force a man openly. This was given to Reuben. Right? Read.
For a woman cannot force a man openly, but by a harlot's bearing she beguiles him.
Read.
Flee therefore fornication, my children, and command your wives and your daughters that they adorn not their heads and faces to deceive the mind.
And make sure you tell your wives and your daughters. And of course it's okay to put a little makeup on and all these other things that are just, modest. But when someone see you, they are to know that they're looking at you. Women have always dialed themselves up a little bit, but not to the point where someone is actually seeing another person. Okay? That sculptor in the face through makeup and all that. This is how men have come in with wigs and messed up the game. Okay? I'm telling y'all how it happened. The face contouring and all that is where men started saying, you know what, I can do that too. So now, if women just, whatever their natural face, how it looks, as long as they keep that intact and put a little something on, that's fine. So that men cannot creep in, the changing of kind, and now mess it up, okay, by now disguising themselves as you. Right? They adorn not their heads and faces to deceive the mind. Read. Now, why did the Most High put these restrictions in and told Reuben, the angel told Reuben to convey this to his sons? Why? Because here's the reality. And the Bible teaches this. Outside of a man who knows the truth of the Most High, a woman is the most powerful being on earth.
When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen?
Now listen to what I just said.
Carpenters.
Outside a man who knows the truth of the Most High,
these people are still a part of that system, and that
a woman with no knowledge at all concerning the truth is more powerful than every other man.
So inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system that they will fight.
That means a woman without any education, without going to school, because men don't care about that. But if she's born with the right look, automatically she can sit amongst kings. A man have to work to sit amongst kings. Not a good looking woman. Okay? And this is why the Most High put these restrictions in, because women are born naturally with that power without doing anything to get it. So restrictions had to be put in place. Right? So this is why they set this thing forth through propaganda in the worship of the Madonna. They've turned through programming and feminism the women we see every day. Not those, I'm not talking about the people who's seeking to serve the Most High and the good women who are seeking to follow Mama Sarah. I'm talking about the norm. The majority of women, it doesn't matter the race, have become images of the goddess. Right? Let's finish this out, Elder Lawyer. Then we'll open up the lines.
Yes, sir. Flee therefore fornication, my children, and command your wives and your daughters that they adorn not their heads and faces to deceive the mind.
It says, make sure your women don't what? Make sure you command them, you tell them. Don't adore your heads and faces to the point where you're deceiving people's minds. Putting on an alter ego. That's under the guise of the word confidence. It isn't confidence. It's a spirit you have taken on.
Many years ago, I named my alter ego Sasha, and it's something that stuck. Sasha is my alter ego. I feel like Sasha is a big treat for my fans. It's definitely exciting.
Sasha is my alter ego.
And I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me. And I remember right before I performed, I raised my hands up, and it was kind of the first time I felt something else come into me.
I felt something else come into me. I felt something else come into me.
Now, Elder Lawyer, one more thing. What spirit? I talked about earlier, Elder Lawyer, the spirit of the goddess that they bring over from East India. What her name? Kali. But there's another goddess. Meet Eris, the goddess behind the force of Marion Williamson. This thing just insulated amongst black women. Look at this. And it has an apple representing the fruit with the hand. The hand, it's her giving the fruit to destroy Adam, right? An ideology. So it talks about this politician who've made herself up in the ranks politically to oppose men of authority. Speaking of a politician right now. So this feminist, look at this witch here. This feminist is talking about embracing the meta goddess and talks about this woman who's running, who's politically placing herself in position. Her name is Mary Williamson, running for presidency. But most people wouldn't know who this is. Who is this? Folks, you can't make this up. Who is this Eris? Well, check out who this Eris is, Elder Lawyer. That feminists oppose and celebrate when other women of power take on that spirit. Check this out. Look at this, Elder Lawyer. You can't make this up. Who is Eris? Eris is what, Elder Lawyer? Look.
Remember that trick?
Eris is
What trick?
the Greek goddess. Hold on. Let me show you. Eris is the Greek goddess, Elder Lawyer, of strife. Is the Greek goddess of strife and discord. Her Roman equivalent is Discordia, which means the same.
You see, child.
Eris, the Greek opposite of Harmonia, which is she is the female representative of Kali under the Hindu. She's the woman who causes discord by doing what? By targeting the man to have him eat the fruit. Chaos in the home. Women are celebrating their witchcraft and the deities they worship in plain sight. And really what they're saying is, we need to destroy men at all costs, which is the ideology of Satan. Anything else, Elder Lawyer?
No, sir.
Let's open up the lines. So men, we are to respect the beauty of a woman according to the Almighty. But according to the word, you cannot fall into the trap. What you must do, right? What you must do, let me get it here. Let me get this. A man of the Most High must set the standard. A man of the Most High out there, you young brothers, you must set the standard, because Satan has used the image of a woman as proxy to destroy. That's right, folks. The only creation on earth that was actually born and created to destroy him, the man. The man. And sisters, hey, based on what's coming down the pipeline, what's being opened, what's coming through the borders, yeah, a man will become a necessity for life outside of water. You best believe that. 515-605-9327. What say you? 515-605-9327. Let's open up the lines. And yes, sir. If the brother Berean want to call in and give me the 12 tribes, within a timely fashion, because he told us that we may be wrong with the 12 tribes, I'm open for that too. 515-605-9327. Let's go to the studio. Elder Lawyer, if you may, can you answer the first call for me, please?
Yes, sir.
My brother. We have Cora. I'm going to let her talk to you until I come back, all right?
Yes, sir.
Sister
All
Cora.
right, shalom.
Shalom, Sister Cora. You there? Sister Cora. A matter of fact, hold on. I made a mistake here because I think I better dial in first. What do you think, Elder Lawyer?
Yeah, I think that'll work.
Yeah, I think I better call in 515-605-9327. Don't worship the Madonna. Yeah, let's go.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. Where am I? Unmuted. Cora. There she is. Hey, Cora.
Okay. quick question. Hi. I've been in the truth 10 years. Of course, I don't celebrate any pagan holidays. But my granddaughter told me the other day that my great-granddaughter wanted $100 for Christmas. And I told her, I said, well, she had to wait till Purim to get that. She said, well, no, she wants it now.
Hold on, Corey. Can you answer this question of the lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Or I'll be right back. All right. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I wonder, is it in my best interest to refuse to give anything out at Christmas time and just wait until Purim? Can I, not counting my finances, but anything, should I just refuse to do anything now this month?
Yes, it's in your best interest to do according to your conscience. And obviously, this is something that is against your conscience, I would assume, right?
Right.
So it's best to go with your conscience. Your conscience is telling you, obviously, you do not celebrate Christmas. Even though the people around you do celebrate Christmas, that's not something that you celebrate. So as much as people would ask for you to respect their wishes and their beliefs, I believe that that same respect should, be reciprocated for your beliefs.
Okay.
So it's not that you don't want to give your, your granddaughter or your niece?
My great-granddaughter. Mm-hmm.
Your great-granddaughter. It's not that you don't want to give her the money. You are going to give her the money, but you're going to give it to her according to a time in which, obviously, you feel more comfortable according to your conscience.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem, Sister Cora.
Okay. All
right. Thank you for your call. Shalom. All right. I'm not sure if Elder Ramar is there to bring in more callers or if we're just going to wait till Elder comes back. Not sure exactly how this is going to work, but no one is there to man the calls. I think we have to wait for the Elder.
All right, I'm here, Elder Lawyer. I'm here.
Oh, we got.
All right, I'm back. I'm back. Okay. All right. Did we went through that call already, right?
Yes, sir.
Corey, okay. Who we have here now? Is that Andrew?
Yep. This is. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Andrew. Shalom.
Shalom. This is Andrew from New Hampshire.
Talk to me.
And I just have a comment about this topic of feminism. You brought up a really good point about this being socially engineered. Like this was not an accident or organic movement that just came.
Yeah, but let me. I want to say something while you're breaking that down. I'm gonna let you talk. This is not an attack on women. What I want women to be clear on that. Feminism was made to destroy not just the man but the woman too. Hence the reason why so many women right now are taking psych meds and depression and all these others because they're coming to the realization that they were lied to through the witchcraft of feminism. So, I can separate the ideology from the people, from the sisters who want to do right? So, or the sisters, I can separate the two. And women can put down the ideology and cleave to the Almighty. I want to make that clear. All right? But go on.
Yeah, and I was saying that the how this was not brought about in a natural way that I was reminded of when in my early 20s, I took some feminist classes at the university.
Yeah.
And I took them. I was interested in kind of stirring up the class a little bit with my perspective. It was kind of fun. The teacher, me and her had some good debates, but she was, and the irony of it, she was a married woman who was married to a man, but she was teaching every class I took. She really taught this over what you talked about, the hypersexualized behavior. All the books we read promoted the independent woman, and the whole class was selling that lifestyle of being an independent woman, and that's going to be your best life if you follow this kind of way of this philosophy of life. And what I saw it as, I was always saying, this is destroying. I think this is going to destroy marriage, which is a big pillar to hold up, a survival tool in society and just in life in general.
Absolutely.
And I found it paradoxical with the teaching of the Bible that, they sell this as freedom, but really you're getting put in bondage when a woman lives outside the purpose that God has designed the woman for. And same with the man.
Yeah.
But true freedom, like the Bible teaches, true freedom has to be living within moral boundaries. And that's why the law and being free, you only can be free within God's law. And that's like what people have a hard time wrapping their minds around, is we think we can easily be sold on this idea of freedom because it's our natural instinct to sin. So we say, oh yeah, this promiscuity and all this lifestyle, being an independent woman, this all seems appealing to our eyes, even though it's not. And then we look at marriage as bondage. But it's just interesting how the Most High works, and
that's
a good shift that you.
Yeah, that's a good point. You have to think about this. Who does it actually benefit? I need you to think about this for a second. The Bible states that Babylon, the great mother of harlots, right? So when you think about the mother of harlots, you more so think of a madam, right? Right? A madam over one big brothel. So who does this benefit? Think about it. If you are a woman who was living in a traditional society and had a propensity to like other women, but yet the whole society was more so geared towards traditional value and the fear of God, then you would have what? You would have a lack of women to choose from for that particular lifestyle. But under feminism, if you can convince women to not like men, then it would saturate society with more choices for the woman who likes a woman. Right? So it doesn't benefit the woman who want to be with a man. It benefits the women out there who like women. So I need to think about this. And it also benefits the man who don't want a wife, who don't fear the Most High, who just want to deal with a lot of women. So it makes it where the world is so saturated with single women that he have his choice with as many women as he want, without the obligation to actually commit to that person. So who benefits from feminism? The evildoers, those who hate God, the Satanists. Women don't benefit from feminism, and not even the women who created it. There's a bunch of white women who are now online speaking regret that their life didn't have the outcome they wanted because they don't have the family that actually brings satisfaction and happiness to a woman. Right? So good point. Thank you, my brother. Bless you. Great points. Oh man, it's been a long time since I've seen these many calls. Boy, I mean, we breaking the internet tonight, ain't we? Lord have mercy. Hit the like button. All right. Hit the like button real quick. Right. Hit the like button. Help me out here. All right. All right. Let's go down the line. TC has a comment and or question. TC. And don't forget, we have an academy coming up. Elder Lawyer, I need you go over some of those topics we discussed earlier. We still in here a little thick for Wednesday night, right? We're up with almost 2,000 people. We were over 2,000 not too long ago, but we thank you for your presence. Do not worship the Madonna. TC, comment, question. Floor is yours.
Okay, so Shalom, first and foremost. My question is actually for Elder Lawyer. I've seen the beautiful growth of this now man that I've been associated with the church for over 10 years. I've seen his growth. His biblical acumen is second to none. And I think of myself because I'm probably, I would venture to say Elder Lawyer is probably mid-30s. I'm probably 10 to 12 years older. But many things I see a very stoic man. I see a very patient man. I see a very respectful man. I see a very continent man. I could imagine that he probably goes to sleep at 9 o'clock every night. So the reason why this question is for Elder Lawyer is because I think Elder Lawyer is the epitome of what all men should ascribe to be. I know that he's married. I know that he's very forthcoming and very involved in his children's life. And their astuteness is, again, second to none. So this question is for Elder Lawyer because I even think that I can learn something because I came from a generation where we were much more wild, much more free, on many different secular levels, and I'm trying to reel these things in. So I think that the women need to listen and hear what a man like Elder Lawyer has to say. And this is the question I have. What makes your relationship work? What are the responsibilities that you have? What is your, day-to-day schedule without going into absolute, personal situations that women could kind of look more so towards an individual like yourself, who I believe is an absolutely God-fearing man who is underneath the tutelage of another great man, Elder Rakal.
Lawyer, you want to answer the question? What are you doing on a daily basis? Elder? Did Lawyer step away? Hold on. Sometime he does that. He probably had to use the bathroom. Hold on, Trent, okay?
Okay.
1 second. I'll tell you what, I'll place you on hold. Don't go anywhere. Soon as Lawyer come back, I'm going to pull you back up to ask that question, answer the question, all right? Because he probably stepped away. He was sitting for 2 hours in the scripture. He's probably, I had to go to the bathroom, whatever the case is, and I came back. So he probably used my cue to go. So hold tight, and I'll bring you right back. You can ask that question, okay? It is a good question. I know most people would like to hear that. So hold tight, and as soon as he come back on, I'll have him answer the question. All right, Trent?
All right, 100. Thank you, Elder.
Thank you, my brother. All right, hold tight. Just hold there. I'm going to make sure I bring you back. All right. I'll hold Trent for a second, and we're going to come back to that. Rachel has a comment. And the brother Berean, if he want to come in and tell us where the 12 tribes of Israel are, I'll be more than happy to help him with that. I know there's some whack doctrine out there that the 12 tribes are in Africa, which is knowledge from the pits of hell, okay? Talking about all 12 tribes are there. Wrong answer. All right, Rachel, you have a comment.
Yes, hi. Hello, elders.
How you doing? Shalom.
Good. I have been following you guys since I've been in the truth since 2020.
Yes.
I've never called in. This is my first time calling in. I guess my comment would be so I am not like a feminist woman, right?
Good.
I don't believe in feminism, and I'm an American, I'm in America, and my husband is in Jamaica. And I literally, anything, that is asked of me, I do, right? And I guess my question, I have a comment, but I guess my question would be, because I didn't think I had a question, but I guess my question would be, how to continue to stand, as a woman in the faith, and trying to support, her husband. I'm a psalmist, but I'm obedient, right? Anything he says to me, anything he tells me, I obey. But I'm in a place where financially, I carry everything. Financially, I do everything, but I'm still obedient, right? I don't.
Okay, so let me go there real quick. Let me go there. You say he lives in another country.
Yes, and I'm in the U.S.
How often do you see him?
Every 2 months. I literally make it my mission to get on a plane and go to Jamaica every 2 months.
Okay, so why don't you just go to Jamaica and live with your husband?
Because of his family.
Well, there's so many levels to this, okay? And I don't want to offend you in the matter. But all in all, right. If you're in another country taking care of a man, there's a lot of dynamics that can be going on that you don't even know about. Okay. And I don't want to put some speculation out there, but if he is someplace else and telling you the reason why you need to stay separated and come to Jamaica with your money to support him, something that doesn't pass the smell test.
Right.
Because how many times we see people from other countries got a whole family and everything else and get with an American woman to be funded. I'm not saying that's happening, but there's a great possibility that that's exactly what's going on.
Right. I have a lot of questions and I have a lot of red flags. But this is what
I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, but let me tell you this though. If this is what you want, I'm not going to get in the way of that. If you're agreeable with them and this is the arrangement that you both have come comfortable with and you don't worry about that, then hey. But what I'm saying is you have to think about long term whether or not this is what you want for yourself.
Right, and that's the wisdom that I need because I don't have anybody speaking in my ear concerning it.
The wisdom that you need is to speak to him and say, a woman leaves her father and mother and cleaves to her husband and become one flesh. And
correct.
And you can't have my money without me. So I don't mind utilizing what I have to help taking care of you, but my money can be utilized to invest where I'll know that you are actually doing something to get on your feet to one day provide for both of us. All right.
Agreed.
So you have to think about whether or not you become an ATM machine, and that's something that you have to decide and discuss with him respectfully. But
that's how I feel.
Yeah. So what you have to do at this point is, and I'm sure he knew that this conversation would come around sooner or later, right?
Right.
So the whole thing is you just like any other woman, you have to say, well, the way this relationship, has gone up until this point has run its course. It's time for something more. What more looks like.
Right.
But only you can, but you have to have that discussion with him. All right?
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
All right, bless you. But that's good that you're humble and you're respectful, but, in turn, he has to respect you, right? So, all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
sir.
Okay, shalom. Hey, lawyer, you there?
Yes, sir. Shalom.
Oh, shalom. I don't know. Did you hear what Trent asked?
No, sir.
Well, what he asked in a nutshell is that he've watched your growth since you were a teenager and the fact that you become a great family man and he gave you some, some great accolades and compliments, which I agree. And he was wondering, what is it you do on a daily basis and made it without going through all the whole thing for the sake of time, Trent. What was the last question you had for him? If you can, what was the question of what he does, what he do on a regular basis? Trent, if you can.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can ask that
can you hear
question. Just ask the question part that he can answer.
Got you. I'll concise it. Yeah. So essentially, just it's obvious that you're a very stoic man. You've been underneath the tutelage of Elder Recall from a very young age, which has probably mitigated a lot of relational issues because you learned early underneath the tutelage of Elder Recall. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm about 10 to 12 years older than you, and I can see that you're extremely respectful. Know the scriptures. It's obvious that your children are at a higher capacity learning wise. You're a very patient man. And it's almost kind of like the antithesis of what women have been told to look for in a man. And I think you're probably the idyllic man to look for. And I know you have a successful marriage. So my question is, maybe you can tell the audience as well as myself, because I can learn, what are your day-to-day dealings and what has it been to lead to the success that you have and your patience and your fervor. So that's my question.
Elder Lawyer.
Because I think women should be looking for a man like yourself and not men of the world, if you will.
Elder Lawyer.
Well, yes, that is a very good question. And first and foremost, I try not to, I don't take credit for anything. First and foremost, all praise be to the Most High. And as you mentioned, I have grown up under the tutelage of an elder Rakar Shiar, which a lot of not just men, young men, people in general, just don't have that opportunity to be able to witness and be under someone with consistent, persistent instruction, almost on a regular, pretty much on a regular basis. So that has helped immensely. And so as far as a day-to-day basis, my day-to-day dealings is primarily the work, either study, personal study, either dealing with day-to-day duties, responsibilities that I have in the work. That's pretty much the course of my day. When it comes to family, obviously, I have a wife who is a believer as well, who is in the faith, in the truth. And that's the start, I believe, of any successful relationship, being on one accord, being of the same mind, building on and being on the same foundation, which is Christ. That's first and foremost. Secondly, my wife, I believe she respects my opinion, even if she may not agree with everything, that all of my opinions and thoughts, at the end of the day, she is willing to say that I trust you enough that I'm going to respect your opinions, even in places where I may not understand or even agree. And that's okay. Women, contrary to what some may believe, they're actually human beings as well, with their own personal thoughts, their own ideas of how things should be. And again, that's fine. So that's to be respected as well. But at the end of the day, she's willing to, respect my opinion and thoughts in certain areas and matters, enough that even if she may not understand, she will, acquiesce. So, that's pretty much it. As far as children, man, I'm still learning. Fatherhood is a new journey. So maybe ask me in 5 years as far as children go, the best course of action. But it's a new experience that I'm navigating and still learning to navigate. Yeah. Even with all the information and all the knowledge, it's you're learning every day on how to navigate fatherhood. So yeah,
the children are homeschooled and he raising chickens. All right, thank you, Trent.
Yes,
Thank you, Trent. I hope he answered your question. All right, Thawada.
Absolutely, 100%. Right. Thank you.
Shalom.
Thawada.
All right, let's go down the line. 954 area code. I already had Rachel. John has a question. And after that, Jaden.
Okay, Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, Yawanathan. How are you?
I'm doing good. I know you don't like to veer too much away from the subject of the broadcast.
I don't.
But I wanted to know, now that I know that a Jubilee consists of 50 years, yep. I wanted to know where did the 50 years initiate? Where did the initial Jubilee start from? Was it like after the creation of Adam and Eve, or
it always existed from the beginning? You got 7 Sabbaths, and then you have another day to round off those 7 Sabbaths. It has always been that way. In years, since the beginning,
initially
even in the heavens, when you go into the book of Enoch, it relates to what was shown to Noah and Moses and others later. Right? So time is calculated from the beginning in Jubilees. And matter of fact, you go to the book of Jubilees, it'll tell you that. Like in the beginning.
That was one. Yeah. That was one more question I wanted to get you to clear up real quick. In the book of Jubilees, I was reading where it says, quote for quote, it says, and all the days of the life of Sarah were 127 years. And then it says, that is 2 Jubilees and 4 weeks and 1 year. These are the days of the years of the life of Sarah. I was trying to see how could I make that, like, I'm trying to understand how does that add up to 127 years.
Okay, I can easily do that, but understand that right now, it's speaking of the jubilees of years from the time of creation. It's calculating her death from there. So I can show you that, but right now I'm not doing the calculations and numbers today. I don't have jubilees up, and I don't have my board behind me. That's a class question. Are you in the academy?
Not yet. I plan on signing up for my first one.
Okay. Well, the next time I'm going into numbers and all that and have my board in front of me, I can show you how to calculate the time according to jubilees, using that first as an example. But I don't have it in front of me right now. Okay? In fairness.
All right. Okay.
All right? Thank you, my brother.
That's it. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right. Muted. Okay, I muted myself.
Unmuted.
All right. Thank you, my brother. That's all right. Let's go now to Jaden. Shalom, Jaden.
Shalom, Elder.
How are you?
Yeah, so I had a comment about when you was reading Reuben and how it hit home. So I'm 20, so my generation's pretty wild right now. And I remember a couple years back, I had a problem, and I had to go to the hospital.
Okay.
And it was down in my. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go on.
Oh, it was down in the Jules area. And the first question he asked me before anything was, when was the last time you relieved yourself?
Ooh, what?
And I've never done that. So I was.
Hold. It is a family show. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Who said what?
So I was talking about how much I was getting to the point where how much lust has, and I wouldn't say ruined my generation, but affected my generation to where.
I know. I ain't talking about the generation. Where do we get to a point where someone is talking about relief? What are you talking about here?
No. So I was saying I had like a medical emergency.
You had a medical emergency. Who's talking to you?
The doctor. And that was the first question he asked me.
What does that have to do with anything?
No, because when he was talking about fornication.
Now, I don't understand why a doctor would be talking to you about something personal. Did it have something to do with your? Either. Did it have anything to do with your injury?
Yes, that's what I'm. Yes.
Okay, all right. So it was something medical that would relate to how he could treat you based on. Okay, all right. Anything else?
So, I'm sorry if I.
No. That just hit me left field. I mean, what is the last thing I thought I would hear?
My question was, since I'm about to go to Germany, and I'm really not. It's a big time difference in the area, and I was seeing if there was any churches in that area or in that region where I could continue to learn more.
Yeah, I think we have people in close there. I know we have a church in the Netherlands.
Well, I'm not going to be there long, but I'm going to be there for about a month. I currently live in Atlanta.
Okay, all right. Well, are you in the church over in Atlanta?
No, not yet. My grandma, she keeps taking me to Sunday church, but it's not really. I'm not getting what I need there.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Would you like to congregate with the Atlanta church?
I would. I used to in Virginia, but that was a while back.
Okay. I think you need to get another hospital too. Hold on. 1 second. I know they wild down in Atlanta, but Lord, the
3 different hospitals.
The doctors too.
Doctors, surgeons.
Lord, in the morning time. Hold on. talking about? Let's see. All right, Jaden. I'm going to have him call you. Okay? I'm going to have him call you. You can congregate. I have Bishop Baruch who will reach out to you. And, get some congregating going on and some prayer with you. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, my brother. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, I was blindsided on that one. Hey, I don't know if you heard that, other lawyer. Hopefully you went to the bathroom again. You went. Man, you never know what you're going to find on these calls. I'm trying to navigate through.
Yeah.
You got your doctors coming in there with, snapping his gloves on, operating uncomely, outside of the Most High's word, asking questions. All right. Let me, 607. Don't worship the Madonna. Here's the topic. I'm trying to get this thing back on course. Kenneth has a comment. Yes. Berean.
Shalom, Elder. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Berean. We were waiting for your phone call, Berean, to let us know who the 12 tribes are. Where you at? Witness Protection Program? Yes, Ken. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Elder Rakar. How are you?
I am blessed by the Almighty. Do me a favor. Just back up from the phone a little bit. A lot of breathing happening there. Back up just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Is that better?
That's excellent.
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for asking. I wasn't originally going to call in tonight. I wanted to let everybody else have a chance to speak, but what you were saying about that goddess, so-called goddess Eris.
Yes.
It sparked some memories of mine that I had from growing up playing a specific video game called Final Fantasy VII.
Okay.
And I wanted to bring that to your attention because within that video game, it's titled Final Fantasy, which you touched on in the Testament of Reuben, a spirit of fantasy. And in that game, they drop a lot of different stuff. One of the characters in the game, her name is Eris. And she meets the main character, whose name is Cloud Strife.
Okay.
And you said that Eris was the name, the goddess of causing strife.
Yes.
And in the video game, the main premise of the story is a entity falls from outer space, and they start using that entity to start injecting soldiers with the genetics of that entity and creating super soldiers.
Now that's interesting. I mean, I'll start to pause I didn't know where you were going with the fantasy thing after these last few phone calls, but I feel safe right now. I'm like, okay. I'm like, listen, we going to dim lights around here? Good. I feel good now. So what you're saying is this goddess Eris would come to Earth and inject men with something that would become super soldiers to be utilized at the end for. That's deep in of itself.
Yeah, Eris is one of the names of the characters of the people they called the Ancients. And one of the people that essentially originally fell. And the main ancient or person that fell originally, which they use as like the test subject 0. Get this, Elder. The name of that test subject is called Genova.
Look at that. That's deep in of itself, because I was showing how they were celebrating this woman by the name of Eris the goddess. I mean, by the name of Mariam Williamson, who's running for president. I don't know if they're speaking in code. Meet Eris, the goddess behind the force. Knowing that this woman under Greek mythology is utilized to utterly destroy the men within society and cause chaos. Who want that as president? Especially after Biden and Kamala. Right? Right? So I need you to think about this. Right? And this goddess, right? You know, a lot of them deal with these deities, right? These, like we're talking about. They worship and do sacrifice, a lot of them, to these things under these secret societies and all. But it tell you that she's the goddess of strife and discord. Her Roman equivalent of discordia, which means the same, opposite of harmonia. And imagine how they targeting our sisters, and people wonder why our sisters are, as they claim, not agreeable, this, that, and the other, not realizing they're being attacked with the spirit or being programmed to walk in the spirit of Eris. The sick goddess running around looking to abuse men. Okay. And one thing about this spirit of discordia, there's some information out concerning the high rates when it comes to DV amongst women who are I don't know how it's possible, but are married to other women. How there's an uptick in fisticuffs going down. You know, when it comes to when the police come, you know what I mean? It's a free for all, and he don't know who to take. He don't know who's right or wrong, because usually you can side with the woman and move the man out. But I heard there's an uptick in DV and violence amongst women. And I believe it's because of this spirit that have been let loose between Kelly and Eris. Is an ideology of the goddess that have now destroyed society, and it's now seeping into the children, and man, it's a hot mess. There's no way America will be retrieved. What say you? Last word.
Yes, sir. It's all connected, as you continually show us through the spirit. It's really a humbling experience to see all of the stuff that I grew up playing, these video games, you know, and I'll yield with this, Elder.
Yeah.
1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, my brother. Bless you. Good, great point.
You too, Elder.
All right. Going down the line.
Muted.
Going down the line
Unmuted.
now that I'm okay. Thank you, Ken. May the Most High bless you, bless all of you. And we do have a new Hebrew and Bible Academy coming this January 7th. You don't want to miss it. Elder Lawyer, if you can run down some of the topics before I end it with a few calls.
Yes, sir. Again, we have a new Hebrew and Bible Academy coming up January 7th. Some of the new lessons we're going to be covering consist of UFOs in the Bible.
UFOs in the Bible. We're going to look at that again. Go on.
The Jewish relationship with the tribe of Judah.
The historical Jewish relationship with the tribe of Judah. First time taught in the academy. You want to be there to hear that particular lesson. Go on.
Roundtable discussion on the purpose of man and woman.
And we're going to have some special guests come in for that roundtable. And I'm going to try to get them in. I'm going to talk about that in advance. It's a different roundtable, and it's going to be resounding. And I hope, we can come to some level of resolve and stop fighting one another. We're on the same team. Well, at least I thought we were. What's next?
Breakdown of the 24 elders.
We're going to go into the heavenly realm, breaking down the celestial hierarchy according to what? According to what's in the scriptures, in extra biblical texts, and really specifically honing in on who are the 24 elders before the throne. You don't want to miss that. What's next?
the prophecies of Daniel, and the secrets of time.
The prophecies of Daniel is we're going into the 70 weeks of Daniel, breaking down the secrets of time and the secrets of time, how to calculate time according to the heavens, because the Romans 7:25, they thought to change time and laws. Well, the Most High, he gave us the calendar so that we can straighten all of this out. Okay. And we're dealing with the 70 weeks of Daniel, taught like you've never seen before. The seals have been broken and the truth is here. There's nothing you can't get from that Bible today. Okay. There's nothing. Everything is open to learn if you're willing to yield your spirit to the obedience of the Almighty and open yourself to understand that we've been lied to. Okay, so we're going to go back into Daniel, break the whole thing down. When it comes to these Christian theorists and all these others, throw it to the side. Jesuits, Catholics, and all of that, throw that to the side. Get what we're teaching you. They don't teach what we're teaching, even in a theologian school. And you as a student learning this word, I can guarantee you there's no theologian school anywhere, students from it, that could actually contend with what you're learning. Right? What's next, Elder Lawyer?
Last but not least, we have walking with the commandments in Christ.
Walking with the commandments and Christ. All right. Thank you, Elder Lawyer. Is that you?
No, sir.
Okay. Who's that over there?
I can guarantee there's no theologian school.
Muted. Unmuted.
All right. Who that? Oh, that's who that is. Oh, that was you, Ramar. He must have hit it by mistake. It's okay. All right. We have LJ and Amna wa Allah, Emmanuel. LJ?
Yes.
The floor is yours, LJ.
Hi, Shalom, Elder Rakashiar, and Elder Lawyer.
Shalom.
This is a great
Shalom.
lesson tonight. I follow you guys. I got baptized last year. And
welcome to the body.
The journey, thank you. So one of the questions you posed was, you said don't worship the Madonna. One of the things I've noticed when I came into the truth before that, I actually had a female pastor, and I could say throughout my journey of finding the truth, she was actually the first person that had ever even told me about holy days and about the name of the Most High and Christ. And that was baffling to me. And she still tried to maintain an order. So her biggest thing was to make sure that you understood the Godhead. You understood that, it was the Most High, it was the man, then the woman, and that the man was your covering. And I think presently, because we live in such a society where there's no fear of the Most High and people don't have relationship with the Most High or even believe it. Everyone is on this frequency and energy levels and manifestations and stuff like that, and just a lot of like this witch and crazy beliefs. No one is believing in the nucleus of the family, so it's easy to set aside the power of having the nucleus of a family and having the man at the head. So the man kind of gets pushed to the back, the woman is pushed to the front, and it's just everything the woman wants. And we know that Satan used the woman in the garden. So it's easy to put the woman in the forefront, to just put all kinds of unrighteous things right now in society. And I'm telling you, I'm a married woman, and I'm not evenly yoked with my husband, and it is a journey. It's a battle.
Hold up. Let's slow up. Because when you say you're not evenly yoked with your husband, right?
Yes.
Okay. So whose fault is that?
Well, okay. The faults we've had this. My husband and I had this discussion. My husband married me under a high in Yeshaya. He's also a foreigner, so he was raised as a Muslim, and then he converted to Christianity.
Okay, but when you say, without you going into everything for the sake of time,
okay,
where is the unequally yoked coming in at? That's what I need. Go directly to that.
Unevenly yoked, meaning like, my walk is different than his walk. He gets what I'm saying, but he, of course, is not as in depth with the understanding as I am.
Okay. I like to get straight to that, because there's a such thing as in the book of Corinthians that states if a woman has an unbelieving husband, that he's covered through your prayer. Right?
Right. I believe that.
Exactly. Now, that's why you have to be careful what you say in public about your husband, right? Because even if he doesn't understand what you understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to undermine him before people in public. That's number one. And number two, there's still things you are responsible for that you can do regardless of what he believes in. You can still be submissive. You can still, because I'm sure he's doing a lot of those duties that the scriptures that you believe in talks about without even following religiously, if you want to use that word, exactly what you're following.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
John, I agree.
Well, I'm just saying, what I'm saying is we have to be what you would call, to some degree, right? We have to be respectful to the absent. And he's still a good man for you. So he just doesn't, he just isn't where you are yet.
I don't want it to come off like I was not respecting my husband, because I respect my husband.
Sister,
he calls on the high in Yeshaya.
Okay.
We pray.
I need you to understand what I'm saying, why I had to come in and correct that. It has nothing to do with, it has something to do with you, but it's because I'm speaking to thousands of people. And one thing that some of us, what we do is we'll say something in public, not realizing how it can, even without intention, disrespect the person who's in our corner. Right? Right. So just make sure you honor him, even in his absence. And that's going to make it come around, because who knows, one day he may fall on this and hear this, and it can push him even further away and make it more difficult for you to reach him. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, just be patient with him. He's still with you. He's taking care of the bills, right?
Yes.
And exactly. So, hey, he sounds like he's yoked to me. All right. He's taking care of his duties as a man. He isn't where you are yet, but he'll get there. I've seen it. And it's how you respect and honor him. That in of itself can be what? That can be the thing that turn him to the full truth. And I've seen it happen before. But you have to honor him in his absence. You are his representative. Right?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Evenly yoked was not the best.
It was the wrong words to use. Thank you. Let's clear that up.
It was the wrong word to use.
All right.
Yeah, maybe it was the wrong word. I was just always told, like, when you're not in the truth together, or if you're not in the same church and that sort of thing, that you're not evenly yoked. That's why I put it that way.
Well, it's more so
not that he's not a believer, because he does believe and he does support me, and we do pray.
There you go.
And he's, so it's, okay.
There you go. He's a good man.
The wrong word.
He's a good man. All right. Bless you, sister.
Oh, he would love to hear that. Thank you.
All right.
Bless you guys.
All
Shalom.
Shalom. I'm the Allah has a comment and or a question.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? Floor is yours.
I'm good. Shalom. So I have more like a story, and it's kind of one that really upsets me. But I'm from the state of Maryland. I find myself here in Los Angeles, California.
Okay, come on. You got to pull it out of you. Let's do it. Let's talk.
Yeah. And
bring it.
And I find myself, in a state or a position without necessarily a home. So
when you say not necessarily a home, what is that?
So I've been staying in like hostels, but it's not like permanent because I can't sufficiently fund it for a long period of time.
You've been staying in what?
In hostels or hostels. It's like shared rooms.
Okay, so what you're saying in a nutshell, let's get straight to it. Right now, you don't have a place to stay. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not really.
Okay,
where
go
I'm
on.
Going. I'm just general gist of the. So I found myself like here on the streets of LA. I made myself a little campfire, and to me, what I perceived as a woman, who was really a man, drove up to me and really offered me, I guess, sexual acts in a way. And honestly, like at first, I kind of had my doubts, but I was really out on the streets and I was warm. I mean, I had my little campfire, but I wasn't really like comfortable or anything.
Hold up. Let's slow this roll for one moment. This is as far as we're gonna go in this story. As far as you said a man came up to you, like what they would call a transsexual, and that's as far as, and he propositioned you with you being, not having a place to stay or whatever the case is. I'm sure this is as far as we go with this, right?
That's the gist of it. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, you told him. Well. All right.
Well, I was very lustful and very unsure of myself, where I felt like I was tricked in a sense because I did enter the vehicle not really knowing.
Well, this is what we're gonna do, brother. All right, you okay now? You entered the vehicle. Did you get out of the vehicle immediately when you realized what you was up against?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and he put you out of the vehicle, or you said,
I'm on the phone.
How long? Let me ask you this: how long were you in the vehicle before you realized that this was type of man thing going on?
10 minutes.
Huh?
It wasn't more than.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this, Emmanuel. I'm gonna make sure, because I'm gonna make sure the people in California reach out to you, so we can get you a little prayer going on, and see what we can do about your circumstance. All right, because we don't want nobody just rolling around trying to expose, trying to take advantage of vulnerabilities. Hold on. And your name is Emmanuel. Great name. Hey, brother.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, brother. Hold the line, and I'm going to make sure someone reach out to you almost as soon as possible, okay? Bishop Lucas is going to call you. All right. Okay, all right. Let's see what time it is. We getting into the serious. We getting into the deep hours here, obviously. Lord. Lord, I'm about to play a little Houdini up in here. Dun, 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 dun. Lord, in the morning. 414 area code. Hold the line. Carol has a question and or comment. I know we started off with don't worship the Madonna. I guess he's talking about the changing of kind. I guess that's how we tying it together. Oh yeah, they're bold now, but watch out. Carol has a question and or comment. It's a shame. Because Elder Lawyer, what's going on right now is because I need you to check this out, Elder Lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
The movement, the civil rights movement was supposed to be a thing where, under the Moynihan report, that they would actually make sure that there's upward mobility and financial opportunity for black men to be respected from their peers, white men, as well as their own women, to strengthen the family. That's what civil rights was for. They came in with Steinem and these feminists, where the white woman becomes a minority now, and now she have access over some of what we would call the institutions in our community now to determine where the money goes, because now she's a minority, only to open it up for gays and then give our women the opportunity that we were supposed to have in order to be a respected part of society in respect of our families. Right now, it's to a point where now the men who died for civil rights are out in the streets with no opportunity at all, as was planned by our enemy. So that in order for them to get anything, they have to go to the women or be propositioned by those who are actually batting for the other team. This thing is over.
It's crazy.
Civil rights at its, civil rights at work. All right. And the target was to make sure we didn't have access to finances as men to protect our families. We would have been out of this crap if they didn't come in with their end arounds to actually cut that pie out, that pie up, called, under the guise of minority. Now they talk about black and brown people now. East Indians and everything else, any pygmies, you name it. Anybody can now become a minority in America now. Lord, sunshine.
Hello.
Come on, bring it. Bring it, sunshine. Let's go.
Hi, shalom. Hi, Elder. Hi.
Hey, what's going on? Talk to me.
Oh, okay, Elder. Oh wow. It's partly humorous to see how outrageous it has become with how far that we as women have gone and continue to go with screams for attention disguised as creativity with our costly arrays. But it's also very serious because it has crept up right under us, and it's indeed the honing of craft. With every nuance and emotion, if desirous of the flesh, a woman can become a master manipulator to such a degree that we deceive our very selves and do so in choosing to be a lie in any and every way, embodying the serpent. And the lies grow and change to adapt the woman as an unmatched chameleon on earth to any situation for a selfish gain of what she alone desires. And the selfishness goes deep, and she's in it, and she takes no prisoners. And as the adaptation then continues in practice and reaches its height in a woman, she becomes like a reprobate, and that, with her power, gone to her head above all except for truth, or truth in a man who is fervent and a servant of Christ and the Most High, she becomes more violent and bitter and dangerous to any unsuspecting, uncovered, or exposed man. And she then can eat men unto death, and by doing as thou wilt with them, and then without batting a literal eyelash, move from one target to the next, and dragging him down to hell, because any man becomes to her the feed of her perpetual freak goddess blood sacrifice, from that hot girl summer to no fault left and right divorces. She keeps rolling like a rolling stone, and without the beauty and consistent guidance keeping us in and out of the liberalist delusion with regular washing of the word, any woman can fall off the righteous path and into the spirit of the mother of harlots. And the sin of Eve is indeed strong unto wickedness, and it percolates in our veins, but the word of the Most High is the strongest, casting asunder every wicked imagination that attempts to uplift itself. And by the grace and enduring mercy of a higher through his son Yeshua, any woman with hope towards the kingdom to come and love of truth and the truth giver, respecting men who the Most High set for us and for us to follow, and loving correction by our head, we can bow in humility and thanks for his grace unto us, and by his grace for all the days of our lives we would hear our Father's voice clearly, cherish the word, be wise but harmless, and with all the gifts and talents he has bestowed upon us, by his grace we may honor him, glorify him, and be a pleasure in his sight. And that's all I have to say, Elder. Oh, praise the Most High.
There you go, sunshine. All right, I only got a few, so I'm going to just drill through these real quick. Zadok has a question.
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, sir?
The question is, how do you stay righteous in such an evil feminist world? And when can brothers respect each other and stand up as men and have mercy for each other and speak like men?
Well, the bottom line is...
Two questions I have.
Oh, that's a good question. The bottom line is you only have control over your person. Okay? The world, it doesn't frustrate me. It doesn't frustrate me in some ways in understanding that only... It's frustrating, but it doesn't with me realizing that only a remnant can be saved. And you only... What you're seeing is within your power to do. That's how. You have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. You have to establish righteousness. You have to establish what a relationship is, but by how you interact with others. And if enough of us do this, that's the remnant. That's the answer. You have to do it. Listen. I've given up waiting for the world to change all at once. It'll never happen. Okay. It's within us to become the ambassadors. All right. And do what's right. Set a foundation in our own home, starting with the 10 Commandments. Right? That's the answer.
Yeah, well, that part I'm doing already.
There it is.
And is there a possibility that brothers can fellowship?
Well, we have a church. You're in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Have you come to the church in Philadelphia?
No, I ain't never been there.
You want a fellowship? I can text your number to Bishop Amath right now, and we can make it happen. Let's fellowship. Huh?
Yes, please do. Please do.
And your name is Zadok. Were you named Zadok, or that's a name you took on?
That's the name I took on.
Okay. All right.
When I came into truth and woke up.
Yeah, that's a serious name right there.
And then the sister told me, that she said he was pronouncing it wrong. It used to be Ruach, and she said, no, it's Zadok. I said, you know what? I'll take that.
Well, right now, it's fine, Zadok. That's a serious name. That's the priesthood of Aaron. These are the one who fled during the time of Babylon and was named the Essenes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. They kept the priesthood alive until Christ came on the scene. They were the real deal, the sons of Zadok. Well, thank you, brother. I text your number to Bishop Amath, and let's see. No. Hold on. Let me make sure. And they'll be calling you. Hold on. There you go. Let's fellowship. My brother. Shalom.
My brother. Shalom, brother.
Let's do it.
A lot of love and respect for you.
Thank you, sir.
Stop following.
Thank you, my brother. Let's do it.
Most High bless you forever.
Hey, brother. Thank you.
Long reign, brother Rakai.
Hey, man. We all we got, right? Shalom. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Shalom.
Shalom. Tracy has a question or comment, and then after that, Lynn has a comment, and we'll end it there. There's no more calls. Tracy?
Hey. I've never heard of the Black Madonna until maybe 3 years ago. Putin started showing off his artwork.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of art pieces that are biblical, that are black, and I was always wondering what the Black Madonna meant. But here in America, I've noticed a lot of the young girls, they're following. Have you ever seen that tattoo Rihanna wears up under her breast?
No.
I think it's a tattoo of a woman by the name of Isis or Set or Nefertiti.
Okay.
Are they under the same spirit as the Black Madonna?
Absolutely. Isis is the Egyptian name for Semiramis. The same demon woman.
That woman right there, I know at least 4 young women that they're into it, where they're buying the necklaces, they're buying the statues, they're setting up altars. That is what a lot of young girls are into. Have you done a podcast on that? And if not, can you do one? I've been trying to.
Guess what? That's the quickest rise in religion within our community. I did a lesson about that. The witches who are amongst us. Let me tell you, they're leaving.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on our channel. They're leaving the churches.
What's it called again?
Just go to our main page, and under the playlist or under our videos, type in witches. That's
okay.
Yeah, these are witches. Okay. These are man-hating witches who are seeking to destroy humanity. That's what's going on in our community right now. And
is that the same spirit of the Black Madonna, or is it something just totally different?
It's the same spirit. A matter of fact, they call that spirit into presence and it enters them. Okay, this is what goes on in witchcraft. They're taking on entities, not just one. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've even known a couple of them. They all might do it, but I know a couple of them actually have an altar for them where they light incense and I guess they pray to it or something.
Yeah. You can find this in the predominantly chaotic, crazy, unconscious community. Even you got Umar Johnson running around out of his mind, stealing money for a school, pouring libations, disrespecting almost every grave within America, trying to pull libations on Harriet Tubman. She believed in the Bible. So he find all these people who were actually inspired by God and believed in the Bible to desecrate their graves with this libation madness. Him and the rest of the conscious community are out of their minds. And this is where you'll find the witches. Promiscuity and the things that's going on, like what you see with Dr. York, the Nuwabic, what happened with Polite. There's nothing polite about him, especially if your young daughter is around. This is the spirit of chaos in our communities. So yeah, and believe it or not, sister, it's not just the women are doing this. You got men who you have men who are part of Egyptology and all that, go both ways and all that, and that's also a prominent part of the conscious community that they're actually hiding. The fact that the gay life and all that is a clear component of the conscious community. Matter of fact, I'm going to be talking about that next Wednesday. Witches and warlocks in the conscious community will be our lesson. AC, make sure you put that up for Wednesday. Witches and warlocks within the conscious community. All right.
Because I would love to send a couple of them to watch it, because I just think there's something wrong with it, and they sing and they all say the same thing, that I'm not religious, I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but what spirit are you talking to?
The spirit of the spirit from the seventh ring of hell. And another thing, you can find them when they're wearing those bull rings and looking mad and all that. All those are indicators that an entity have entered. But don't worry about it. I'm going to deal with that next Wednesday, sister. Believe me, we're going to deal with that. All right.
Doesn't one of them have a son called Horus or something like that?
Yeah, and Horus is another name for Tammuz. So Horus, just Nimrod, Horus, all of them are the Yule child. It's just that it's the same Babylonian religion that came from the Tower of Babel once the tongues were split. The Babylonians call it Semiramis and Isis. Semiramis, Nimrod / Tammuz, and the Egyptians call it Isis, Osiris, and Horus. It's the same deities under a different society, the same demons. All right.
Okay.
I'll talk about it next week. All right. I'll deal with that next week.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
All right. Oh, yeah. Next week, the witches and warlocks of the conscious community. You don't want to miss it. 540 area code.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Lynn. Last call. What say you?
Well, I was going to say something about the Tower of Babel and all of that, but I forgot. But what I wanted to say with the feminism and things, I wanted to say something to our sisters.
Don't tell me you've been waiting so long. Don't tell me, Lynn, you fell asleep. Did I wake you up?
No. I was just sitting here patiently waiting, brother.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right, go on.
I appreciate y'all letting me talk.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say something to my sisters, what I wanted to say about the Tower of Babel, the worshiping of beasts. If you could do a show on that for the people and show them that's where a lot of these empires have failed. I mean, you even see it in the Native American culture with the totem poles and all these worshiping of the beast. The bull always shows up. I think that's a big part of man's fall, and God has been here since the beginning trying to get us right. So, that's just part of man. They just keep on going back to worshiping beasts. But as far as the feminist topic, we know that the black family has been broken up since slavery, so let's not pretend that this hasn't been going on since we've been here. And, we had Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, and it was either her or Scheherazade Ali in a documentary that they did, and they said that feminism is the white woman's fight. It says, black women haven't been under the black man's thumb for 400 years.
That is
correct. Sisters, we need to remember that. We need to remember since slavery that they have broken up the black family, and we have to remember in the 60s during the feminist time when your brothers was fighting side by side with you in civil rights, and then all of a sudden here comes the feminists, snatching you one by one out of the fold to get us to this point, because the sisters wasn't going for that because they knew better back then. They knew that they hadn't been under the black man's thumb, and they knew that they had been under the government and their master's thumbs forever, since they've been here. And one more thing, abortion has killed more than any other, cause of death.
We try not to use that word. You probably go, the child deletion or whatever the case is. That triggered the algorithm, but go on.
I'm very sorry for saying that.
That's fine.
And then I have two questions. One is for Elder. All right. Did the song "Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent" have anything to do with this? And then the other one is for my brother who's reading. Is bag chasing a form of selling your body?
Well,
I don't want to say the word.
Well, brother, let me tell you. I mean, I can tell you, man. You. It's so poignant that you got straight to the point and you hit so many key details of what we were actually talking about. Number one, there was never a time where our people under chattel slavery where the black man was in power to abuse our women.
Right.
That's another lie the feminists did to gain the spirit of our women to their side to destroy us. And by destroying us, they would, they by proxy get to the sons and destroy these same women they've convinced against men to destroy their sons also. Right? That was the witch move. The next thing you pointed out through the music. There's nothing going on but the rent, of course. You know why they started stating that? Because I mentioned earlier, but it tell you Babylon the Great is the mother of harlots. So the mother of harlots is a madam who's over what? Who's over a harlot house.
Yes.
So obviously you would turn relationships into what? Financial exchange, because that's what you do at a harlot house, where everything is about what you can do for me financially in exchange for sexual favors. Well, that's what a harlot house looks like. So it's been embedded, it's been planted in the music to initiate our women into this transactional mindset. And by doing so, they have lost part of themselves, their soul. The more you lose your purity when it comes to your body, a little piece of your soul goes with it. And that's what the feminists, that was their target the whole time, knowing that the prophets would come through the womb of our sisters. But you know what? Some of our mothers stood strong. And the Most High, guess what? The Most High brought the truth through those same wombs, the womb of these great women anyway. So we're not here to blame. What we're here to do is say, listen, we all made mistakes. Now let's get on code. Brothers and sisters, let's not point fingers. Let's point to what's wrong. So to not go back down those paths and to draw more brothers and our sisters to the light, because this is the only thing that's going to work going forward. The old way doesn't work because men aren't participating like they used to. Thank you, my brother.
Yeah. Yes. I just wanted to say the truth is what will set us free in love, but we have to have the truth put out here, and we have to talk like this to each other, because we could, you talk to your brother and sister this way, and this is the way we need to talk, and I love y'all and appreciate y'all, and thank y'all, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm glad I went through all these calls. I didn't want to miss this. This is a great way to end the call, end the night.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Lynn. Bless you. You can tell that brother's patient, wisdom. Hey, I'm glad he's on our side. With that, I'm going to say shalom. I'll see you all. Join the Hebrew and Bible Academy, historytimes.org. Thank you, Elder Lawyer. Thank you, Elder Dell. Thank you, Elder Yarack. Thank you, all the elders, bishops, all the people working behind the scene. We are the children of Israel in the spirit of Christ, and we are back. Have a great evening. I'll see you on Patreon this Friday. Shalom.
Heavenly Father Ahaya, we thank you for your Son, Yeshua, who died and rose that we may be free. Free from death and the bondage of sin. We thank you for sending your Holy Spirit, the Comforter, to guide and direct our paths from now until we behold your glory face to face.
Our Father who